Hello traders, and welcome to the second video in the order depth and order flow trading series. Today's topic, we're going to be looking at concepts from chapter 6, looking at support and resistance from the limit order book. And now what we have here today is BitMEX on the 5-minute using tensorcharts.com, a tool that can give us heat map data like this. Now what we have set up right here are large limit order levels. And the focus of today's video is going to be looking at executed limit order book levels as trend strength. So basically when we see the market go through a very large order wall, we can expect that the market will likely continue to move in that direction. So let's begin. So here we see not really many limit orders near price, not many bids near price. We do see some offers. That will make it tougher for price to rise than price to fall. However, what do we see here occur? At this point in time, we see that the first limit order level, the first offer had fallen. It got executed by price. Now, when you see this type of pattern, do you imagine that this is a strong trend, or do you believe that the trend is likely going to stop? I'm going to give you guys 5 seconds, and then I'm going to scroll forward and we're going to go see exactly what happened. So what ended up happening is the market actually also cleared through this second level. We had a bit of pullback here, and then the market just cleared through that level as well. Now, one key price action pattern that you may want to look at when you're looking for this kind for this kind of analysis, it depends on the way that the limit order book level falls. This limit order book fell in a very interesting way. You can see that we had a bit of it being tested, and then you can see that the orders were just pulled because price was not touching this at this point in time. But you can see it was dropping in order depth. That's because this level, traders were pulling their orders from that level, or the large trader who had placed that limit sell order had probably removed some of those limit sells, and then price was able to burst through it. Now here we just see the level stayed pretty consistent up to here, and prices burst through that as well. Typically when we see this is going to show us very bullish market aggression, and bullish market aggression tends to continue. However, there is a situation where price bursting through these limit order book levels can actually be counterintuitive, can actually be bearish. Now that depends on the candlestick that forms when the level is broken. Look here, and you can see that there was a tail that formed from here to here. It may be a little bit tough to see. And I think that one thing I can do to make that a little bit more clear, that makes it a lot more clear. Yeah, you can see right here that this was a tail. And we had a decent amount of volume as well. So this kind of pattern is not really a strong uptrend type of pattern where we expect price to just continue going up. A strong uptrend is going to look like this when we burst through those order book levels. But this looks a little bit different. This does burst through too, but price does fall. As you can see, price fell from its high up here, which the high is reporting to me at 70.48, and it went to a low of 68.72.5. So we can see that here price fell and just consolidated for a bit. And then we can see that there were other large limit order levels here. Now, what did price do? Price confidently just broke through these. We don't see many tails, like this. We just see bullish market aggression, and the market continued to go higher. Now, you may wonder, well, wouldn't this make trading order depth a little bit harder? Because if you were looking at order depth in this consolidation phase and you see a large amount of bearishness, such as this, you'd probably want to short. Well, that's where an order flow analysis comes in. I mean, you can trade purely order depth if you would like, but the reason why I wanted to make a video on chapter 6 on support resistance in the limit order book is because I think that it shows that order flow is just as important as order depth, and you should probably be looking at both. Order flow, just to simplify what exactly I mean by order flow, in this sense, we're looking at the amount of aggression on the bid. Aggression on the offer and aggression on the bid, as you can see here. Now, the more aggression you see towards these large limit order book levels, the more likely price is to continue to rise. Now, you may wonder, well, how do I trade these kinds of patterns? We see these levels, we saw these levels down here break. There are a lot of ways that you can trade these. One thing that you can do is play the pullback. So if you see price break through confidently like this, what you can do is wait for a supply run. I mean, if this is an uptrend, you'd want to wait for a supply run to get your limit buy order filled, and then potentially take profit higher. That's one thing you can do. That would have probably worked here as well, because you can see price does go through a lot of limit order book levels here. You could try to place a limit buy, a bid order, as price was falling in a supply run, try to get that filled, and then you would have had the profit here. And you can see price was just continuing to move higher until, yet again, let me zoom in to show it, we see those price tails. We see these price tails form that actually are able to burst through these large limit order levels. Remember, large limit order levels are going to be in yellow. And then after that occurs, price goes down. So really, I think that the point, the essence of this video is to show you that the way in which a large limit order level is broken is going to reveal a lot about where the future trend is going to move. When we see a confident break of these levels and then a bit of healthy pullback, I mean, this is a great sign of the uptrend, and potentially you could buy and take profit later, deeper in the uptrend, instead of trying to counter trade this kind of pattern, just because you see bearish order depth around these levels. However, when we get to here, you can see multiple price tails. You can see a large amount of volume transacted, and this may be a little bit more bearish. Now, if we look again, so we can do this again, we can wait for, oh, that is, I think, just probably a misprint from tensor charts, and now it's just printing everything. So let's go a lot more forward in time, because it doesn't look like it's really liking that. Okay, so this is making a little bit more sense now. Yeah, so we can see that there was a large limit sell order here that actually did hold price down once, twice, but then the third time it broke confidently. This could have been a sign that we want to buy. This is a little bit of equilibrium, also a bit of a supply run. And if you had limit bought, you know, with a bid order, maybe you could have gotten filled and then taken profit higher. Now here we see some seller aggression that definitely did occur. This seller aggression did stop when we see these price tails. These price tails here, they're a little bit faint. These price tails here as well. And you can see that a similar pattern here occurred with those price tails and the price tails here. So these tails, also known as wicks, are going to show you, especially not just, you know, looking at a tail in any area, looking at a tail near a large limit order level, a tail that burst through a large limit order level. That's where we are interested in actually potentially taking a trade with the trend instead of against the trend. And that's what I've been showing so far. So here we see a large amount of order depth down here, and that's all filled on heavy volume and a few price tails here. And now we see limit orders filled here, as you can see. And price just consolidates and just moves flat. So there are many reactions that can occur once these limit orders do fall. Typically in beginning stages of uptrend, so something like this, where we get these large limit order levels here, they get filled and then price continues to go higher. In later stages of uptrends, you may see higher volume, more volatility when these limit orders are broken, and that may be a sign that the uptrend may be ending. So I'm not going to just continue to scroll through this, but let me recap the important points from this that I've mentioned a few times. One, we want to look at these limit order book levels individually when we're using this kind of strategy, instead of using them collectively in order depth. Order depth there is a great way to look at. It's a great way to look at supply and demand. But looking at this is going to show you a little bit different of a picture. Now, it's how these levels are broken, if they're broken at all, that shows us how much bullishness or bearishness the market is currently in. And that's going to show you the market aggression. Now, there are also other ways you can see market aggression that are delta, stacked imbalances, and volume as well. Those kinds of indicators are going to also give you similar readings. And if you're interested in doing more practice on this, what you can do is exactly what I did. You can just go to tensor charts, you can scroll back in time, and you can make predictions based on a limit order being broken or being executed, and say if you think price is likely to continue to rise or if you think price is likely to continue to fall. Here we saw a large limit order was filled. Here it was filled as well, and prices continue to rise on that strong demand, as you can see there. Then we got high volatility and high volume, and this amount of high volume and high volatility later in the trend caused price to reverse. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. And if you have any more questions, you can ask them on the Discord. Happy trading. See you guys soon.